Hello trainers, and welcome to the making of the thumbnail for Gengar. This was the last episode of the 2023 Halloween special Bonanza, and the third awakening in the series. So throughout the series, it started with a Ghastly kind of harassing you and trying to eat your life essence, and throughout the holiday special, it evolved into Haunter, and then finally into Gengar. I wanted the thumbnails to also kind of represent the Pokemon getting closer and closer, because in the episodes it first starts near the edge of the bed, and then it's more closer on top of you, and then Gengar is right on top of you, so definitely putting them in the forefront of the camera. Also, it's a super simple shape. Gengar is a super simple shape, so a lot more of the dynamic and compelling features of it is the face. I had started with the eyes, as I always do. This one I did one eye and then mirror flipped a copy-paste image. I also put the tiniest little purple spot in the pupil. You can't see it from a distance at all, but it's one of those nice little details I like as the artist. So for those who do see it in big, I think it's pretty nice, because I typically keep an OC eye shape, but if the original Pokemon has some really neat features to their eyes, I try to include them. And then still doing what few outlines there is, so the Chester Cat kind of smile, the little ruffle on top, and the little nubbin arms that are reaching down onto something. Ooh. And then the coloration is just take, and I just fill the whole thing, because the whole thing is mostly pink. And then I just erase what scraps of background there is. This whole thing took me about 19 minutes. I played around more with the shine and shadow, as I like to do. Even the simplest Pokemon in design, I try to add a little bit of intriguing dynamics to it. So blocking out the color of the teeth, which is the only other color, and then the background I use one of the original Gengar purples. Very, very straightforward design. But I will be going into my Ditto Shine, as there is a little bit, and then I will be giving it the classic spooky episode Spotlight Shadow, which just seems to be kind of a signature for me at this point. If the episode is of a darker tone, darker location, or like spookiness to it, I just give it that spotlight type of effect, like you're shining a flashlight on it. I'm giving it the nice Blorby Ditto Shine, because again, it's a nice big round thing. So a nice giant shine on the top of the head, like kind of the forehead zone, and then on his little stubby arms, so you can actually see that they're there. Didn't do any shadowing on it, because most of it is going to be shadow. You'll see in like just a minute, when I do the spotlight gradient effect around it, I play with the eraser tool, similar to how I'm doing this Ditto Shine, where I do a big swipe of white, and then I use the eraser to gently fade it in. I will use the already overlaid shadow to give the teeth some shine, since they are the most prominent feature. Yeah, so we have this, using the gradient tool with the circle shape. The secondary color, if you make it fully translucent, then it's not there, and you'll have the nice, more solid color. So I was debating doing shadows here, but then I realized I could just take the eraser with a softer, translucent setting on it. I use paint.net for those that are newer to this. Paint.net, it's free. It's a step above a basic paint program, but you still got your layering, you have some nice effects. It's nice for simple artists like me, especially who still use mouse and keyboard. I don't use a Wacom tablet or anything. I just like it super simple, and I work with what I got. So it has, with the eraser, if your main color is slightly transparent, or you adjust the transparency, it also affects the eraser when you pick it up. So I used a soft, transparent eraser to clean off some of the gradient. So I'm basically like cleaning it off the teeth, but it's like I am adding white to it. And I think it's a pretty fun effect. I was playing around with how these teeth would shine. I think for a first go at it, it wasn't that bad. Definitely something I can probably improve on. There's a lot of things throughout these where I look back on it and it's like, I could have improved it there. But I do so many of these that the repetition is where I'm getting my practice. Kind of like how I note doing shine and slime and all that. I'm suddenly very good at it, mostly because of just repetition. Like, I'm sure there are plenty of starter up or people that want to do art and they get frustrated when they're told, well, you just gotta practice. But it's very true. If you just practice, even if it's like you're not studying hard at something and drawing it like 1,000 times and looking at like hands, like looking at every joint, every skeletal structure, just if you do it over and over again, eventually you get a rhythm to it and it improves and it grows. So putting the episode number there, the grand DDD episode of 42, doing what I did with the Frost last one of I type out the number in the brighter color and then I type it out again in the darker color underneath. Or you could reverse it like I did with Frostlass, and it has this nice little kind of pop to it, so you can also read it a lot better from a distance. But that is the simple but fun way to do Gengar. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you would like early access to these types of episodes or want to hear the full audio episode that this thumbnail was made for, you can subscribe to my Subscribestar or my Patreon. Some things on the Subscribestar are not over on Patreon quite yet, but it is in the process of being transferred, so hopefully if someone in the future is listening to this, everything should be there by now. As of this posting, we are well underway or possibly even close to finishing with this year's Halloween special, a 5-episode bonanza, and would love it if you would join in, catch up, hear the next release, and have some fun. I'll see you for the next catch. Bye-bye.